welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're trying to get inside the story of maybe America's most intensely private, multi-billionaire retailer, John Menard Jr. We're talking $22.9 billion.
Yeah, and an empire, Menards, that he basically built completely under the radar of Wall Street. Never went public. Most people outside the Midwest barely even know his name.
It's fascinating, right? Because there's this huge contradiction. His business, Menards, it often outperforms giants like Lowe's where they compete head to head. Yet you hear these stories from former execs about a culture of just ruthless discipline, almost obsessive micromanagement. That's the paradox.
Exactly. It's like this sealed fortress. So our mission today really is to try and decode that blueprint. How did his almost radical view on money let him sidestep debt?
And how did this quiet expansion strategy build such a strong competitive moat? Plus, we need to look at that internal culture, the system that enforces this singular vision.
Right. If you're interested in building something truly durable, maybe not flashy, but solid, this is quite the case study.
Okay, so let's start at the foundation, the money part. Because like you said, it's just the absolute opposite of how most big companies think about growth now.
It really is. You have to rewind all the way back. Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 1964.
Right. John Menard Jr., he's in college. He's building pole barns to make tuition money.
And the rule he supposedly set right then, which kind of defines the whole company even now, was incredibly simple. He refused to throw away scrap wood.
He didn't just save it, though. He, actively built it into the system.
Yes. That leftover lumber, it became shelves, it became counters in his first little warehouse operation. He was even apparently heating the building with the scraps.
So the idea wasn't just being frugal. It was this core belief that real profit comes from eliminating waste.
Precisely. And that thinking, that's the crucial part because it's scaled up with the business. Fast forward to today's Menards.
Yeah.
They actively hunt for, rejected goods from manufacturers, doors with slight damage, maybe paint colors that got discontinued, lots of products.
Stuff other retailers would see as a problem, basically.
Yeah.
A headache.
Exactly. Quality control issues, liability. But Menard saw margin. Pure, simple margin, because the acquisition cost was rock bottom.
Okay, so that thriftiness becomes a real competitive weapon. Because home improvement, it's a low-margin game, right?
Yeah.
Cost of goods is everything.
It's huge. So if Menards is sourcing inventory partly from salvaged stuff, their costs are way lower than competitors paying full price for perfect goods.
Which lets them keep prices down, turning, junk into market share.
It's basically pricing power built on other people's rejects, and apparently Menard himself would get involved.
So?
You hear stories of him personally ordering, say, massive quantities of unpopular items just to get that extra discount point from a supplier.
And then they just figure out how to sell it.
Yeah, get creative. Like maybe those leftover bags of cement get marketed as simple backyard DIY kits or something.
Right.
It's scaling by subtraction almost, finding value where others don't look.
The contrast with how things are often done now is pretty stark.
Oh, absolutely. You see so many companies fueled by massive debt, chasing aggressive growth through capital markets. Think about the early 2020s.
Yeah, companies like Bed Bath & Beyond, leveraged to the hilt, they went bankrupt.
Right. Meanwhile, Menards, built on cash flow, built on this relentless thrift, they're sitting there debt-free, profitable, totally insulated when interest rates shot up in 2025.
It really makes you rethink what resilience means in business. Maybe hoarding cash and reusing scraps is smarter long-term than chasing venture capital.
Well, it certainly proved more durable in his case. And that durability, that insulation, it leads right into the second pillar, keeping the company private.
The silent expansion framework.
Exactly. No IPO.
Which is almost unheard of for a company that size.
Yeah.
Wall Street usually comes knocking hard. Why did he resist?
Control. Total, uncompromised control. He didn't want shareholders demanding quick profits every quarter.
Or messing with his very specific, very rigid way of running things.
Precisely. Going public means giving up some of that control for cash. He just wasn't interested in that trade.
So instead of explosive national growth, he took a different path.
A much slower, more deliberate one. Start in the heartland, perfect the model, then replicate it. Identically. Slowly expand outwards.
And that replication is the key phrase here, isn't it? No trying to conquer the whole map at once. Ill density in specific regions.
Yeah. By 2024, we're looking at around 341 stores, but only across 15 states, mostly concentrated in the Midwest.
That regional focus, what's the advantage there?
It creates this really powerful operational moat. Think about logistics. If your stores are clustered, your supply chain is way tighter.
Lower distribution costs.
Definitely. And you get more leverage with regional suppliers, too. Compare that to, say, Home Depot trying to manage a complex nationwide network. More complexity, more cost.
So avoiding debt and staying regional meant that when the economy got rough, like with rising interest rates,
Menards wasn't vulnerable in the same way. They weren't servicing huge debts. They were funding expansion internally from profits.
it's a powerful lesson, maybe, for founders today who care more about lasting than just getting big fast.
For sure, patience, internal compounding. It can build a fortress. Menard basically traded public applause for private structural strength.
And that private structure, that total autonomy, lets him run the internal machine exactly how he wants. Which brings us behind the curtain.
Yeah, this is where things get more controversial, the internal culture.
The militarized retail machine, as some have called it.
Right. And a big part of how that operational efficiency is maintained is through, well, fines. Pretty severe financial penalties.
The details are kind of shocking, actually. Like, a manager opens the store 1 minute late.
That's reportedly a $100 fine.
Wow.
Or fines if there are more than 15 shopping carts left stray in the parking lot. Or failing an hourly check on restroom cleanliness.
And these aren't just warnings. They actually deduct this.
Often directly from a manager's bonus pool, according to reports. It's zero tolerance, essentially, baked into the finances.
Okay, but wait, doesn't that just create a culture of fear? People must hate working there. Wouldn't you lose good managers constantly? That sounds inefficient, too.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the logic, however cold it sounds, seems to be purely mathematical.
How so?
In a razor-thin margin business like this, the calculation appears to be that the cost of any inefficiency, a wasted minute, a dirty bathroom that turns off a customer, misplaced stock, is actually higher than the cost of replacing a manager who can't meet the standard.
So because he won't raise prices significantly against competitors and he won't take on debt, the only lever left is just absolute ruthless discipline, squeezing out every tiny bit of waste and error.
That seems to be the rationale. Absolute elimination of inefficiency, down to the smallest detail.
They check everything. I read about inspections looking at how pallets are stacked in the back room, demanding millimeter precision.
That obsession, that's what delivers the consistency. You walk into any Menards, anywhere, and the operational standard is meant to be identical. It's enforced.
Now, we should definitely acknowledge this has drawn criticism.
Oh, for sure. Labor groups have really pushed back on the fairness of those penalties. And there have also been reports that the company actively works to avoid hiring people with previous union experience.
To maintain that absolute management control over procedures.
Seems likely. It keeps the system rigid, predictable. That control's obviously central. But the Menards brand, it's not just about cold efficiency. There's another layer, an emotional connection.
Right, which seems almost contradictory given how private Menard himself is.
Exactly. He avoids the spotlight, but the brand. It's incredibly visible in a very specific arena. American motorsports.
NASCAR, IndyCar. You definitely see that bright yellow Menards logo everywhere.
And that's not just random advertising. It feels very strategic. It connects the brand directly to the passions, the subculture of a huge chunk of its core customer base.
The welders, the mechanics, the DIY dads, the tradespeople across the Midwest and Rust Belt.
Yeah, we could call it the Rust Belt brand bond. He's embedding the company right into that regional identity, building a kind of loyalty that you just can't buy with generic national ad campaigns. He's speaking their language.
And the stores themselves feel different too, don't they? They aren't like the slick minimalist layouts you see elsewhere.
Not at all. They feel intentionally full, cluttered maybe, colorful, full of unexpected things.
Like you'll find Christmas decorations next to power tools or cases of soda near the vinyl siding?
Right. It's less retail gallery, more Garage Kingdom, or like a giant scavenger hunt. It feels designed for discovery, for finding deals.
It definitely caters to a customer who values finding a bargain, expects variety, maybe enjoys the hunt.
And it seems to work. Menards consistently ranks really high on lists of the most trusted retail brands, especially in the Midwest. They focus on volume, value, and an experience that resonates with their specific audience, not necessarily trying to please everyone nationwide.
Okay, so let's try to pull this all together. The core pillars of this $22.9 billion private empire seem to be scrap, silence, and control.
That sums it up pretty well. He wasn't building for fame or Wall Street approval. He engineered this thing for sheer survival, for durability against all the forces that took down so many competitors.
Yeah, his methods, They might seem cold, definitely contrarian. You wouldn't learn this in business school. But the result is this undeniable resilience.
He proved that extreme operational control combined with patience and zero reliance on outside debt can beat speed and public capital in the long run, while others chased growth and stumbled.
Menards just kept humming along, managing its margins internally, never getting overextended.
Finding value in cast-offs, expanding methodically, enforcing standards with an iron fist. It's really quite a story of how total independence can lead to dominance.
A fascinating look at a 21st century business built purely for permanence, not for perception.
Absolutely remarkable.
So maybe this is the thought to leave you with today. The Menards model seems to suggest that for something to be truly lasting, truly durable, maybe total control is essential. Financial control, market control, operational control. For your own work, your own goals. Where do you draw that line between intense focus and maybe obsession? And think about this. Would you personally trade some freedom for the kind of absolute resilience John Menard built? Something to mull over.
Definitely something to think about. We'll see you on the next deep dive.